What's up, everybody? Happy Monday. This is my little brother AJ, and we just got in a new Alesis Pro Nitro Mesh Nitro Mesh set. Yay! We're gonna have to figure out how to get all this together, but we'll have to see first if they even have all of the hardware that we need to set it up. So let's get started, shall we? There's one thing I learned from my Evo video is that I'm going to actually read this time. So there are some audio cables that we still need to be able to hook this up over to the computer. I think there is a USB, so I might be able to run it into as a MIDI controller that way, or my MIDI ones, but you won't be able to hear anything so far until I can get some of those audio cables to run from the module over here. This is what I'm looking at. Those would be my outs, and I would run that into my interface right there. I do have a cable for my MIDI in and out, and then I also have one for my USB, which I might be able to play around with, and it looks like I also have a couple extra slots that I can put those in. It looks like you can also run auxiliary in, so you can play along with your different songs. So I'm going to go ahead and put a pause on this for right now, and then we'll make a trip into town, get some new cables, and come back in and get this all set up.
3 days later.
All right, what's up, everybody, again? So it's a couple days later. I had to run to my local music shop, the Candyman. Hey, shout out Candyman. Basically, I needed to get cables. I needed to get cymbal pads for my acoustic drum set, and I was supposed to get some cymbal polish, and I forgot. But I also got a new extension cable for my headphones. Hey, pretty dope. So I got all kinds of new stuff to be able to play around with. So let's go ahead and hook up these drums and see what we can do to get it all matched up in Fruity Loops, eh? Okay, so what I got over here are two of my TRS, my 1/4 inch plugs over here. They're going through this side, and I also have a MIDI, but it's a MIDI cable, it's a MIDI cable on one side, and then it goes through a little converter, and it's a USB on the other side. I'll go ahead and just throw a picture right here for you guys to check that one out. That one's been most useful to me because my computer doesn't have a MIDI input, and I have not been able to hook up that guy yet, my FirePod. So one day, pretty soon, hopefully. So these guys are running, of course, the MIDI to USB is running into my computer, and then I have my Scarlett 2i2 right over here, and I'm just running one of both into each side. So usually I'll do it so that It's just mono to one of these, but I wanted to go ahead and plug both of them in. Okay, AJ's back at the studio over here, and we're just gonna go ahead and show you how to get all of this set up. So right now we're just running through the audio from my interface. I'm gonna turn these down a little bit to make sure that they're correct. So because I have two different inputs from here, I'm gonna make sure that this is actually set up to my Focusrite audio. Let's see. So I'm gonna close that. So I'm just gonna choose two channels. 7 and 8 sound fine to me. So I'm gonna have input 1 and input 2. Go ahead and hit one of those drums for me. Okay, pause for a second. Do that one more time. Okay, so you guys can't hear that yet because it's not recording correctly. Okay, had to do a little bit of configuring, but go ahead and hit a drum, Adam. Bam! Look at that. Amazing. Okay, so when I'm setting up my drums, usually what I'll do is I will put them both to ascend. So I'm going to activate this little guy right over here, and I'm going to turn off the master, and I'm going to do the same with my other track. Turn that one in here, turn off the master. It's also a good idea to rename your stuff on your mixer so you don't get yourself lost. So drum send, make that orange, it's my favorite color, bam. Okay, so now on this one, these channels are only going to be going through my send, not through my master. So here I can come in and I can put in like my reverbs or anything like that. For drums, I like Valhalla Room. This one gives it a good, I'll just go ahead and jump into one of my presets here. Maybe we'll do snare big room on this one here. And of course I'm going to turn my mix on my reverb down. So go ahead and hit a couple of those drums for me. Wow. Maybe it's a little bit too much. Sometimes I'll get down to a point on my Valhalla mix and then I'll actually also use my dry wet mix over here. There we go, sounds real nice. I am getting a lot of volume over here, so I'm gonna go ahead and just drop these guys. And I'll also go ahead and before my reverb, I'm gonna go ahead and just put on a sound goodizer just to be able to help it out a little bit. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead and play your beat. Right on. So there's also a second method that I like to use. So instead of using these two, I'm going to go ahead and just mute those three for right now. The other method is it is hooked up as my MIDI controller. So if I come over to MIDI, there's my USB MIDI interface that's already turned on. That one, it works usually pretty automatically with my MIDI to USB cable that I have plugged into my computer. So that one I usually don't have to mess around with too much. Now that does also come with a USB 2.0 plug inside there, but I don't have a cord long enough right now to be able to reach it. So once one of those comes in, then I'll check out and see if those other options might give it a little more versatility, but for right now, it'll be okay. So what I'll do is I'll come over here to add a new instrument, and I'm gonna add FPC. And I'm just going to go ahead and right away route that one to its own channel. So what AJ and I noticed last time when we were setting this up is sometimes the drums are not necessarily keyed into the right pads here on FPC. So we're going to just start one at a time. Go ahead and hit the snare in the middle, please. So I got snare 2 hitting up, and go ahead and hit the rim on that snare. So that one is going over to snare 1. What we can do, hit the rim one more time. Up here you'll see note E3 is lighting up. So we're going to come here. I'm going to change the MIDI note from here, and I'm just going to select one that's really high up that is going to get away from that. And I want the side stick to hit on E3. So I just got to find it. Well, bam. So now if you hit the side one more time, now I've got my clicks going on. So let's move on to the high tom, the one right next to the snare. So high tom is working. Let's go to the middle. So that one's going to low tom. That might be okay. And hit the floor tom one. Okay, so that'll probably work out just fine. Let's hit the crash. Crash is fine. Let's hit the ride. That one's going to light ride. I think that'll be okay. And then the hi-hat. And then close it. Pedal works, and hit it one more time. No, I mean your hi-hat while it's pedals on. Perfect. So now, if I wanted to record a little bit, I could actually come over to my piano roll over here. I'm just going to hit record, and I'm going to hit notes and automation. And go for it. Now that we've got that taken care of, you can see all of those notes that he was hitting are already hitting inside here as well. So this one is going to be a good tool because I can do either the audio from the drum tracks through my interface with those two cables, or I can run it through MIDI and run it through FPC. And the reason why I want to use FPC sometimes is that I can choose sounds, whatever sounds that I want to in here. They might not necessarily be ones that are already programmed into the Alesis itself, so I can replace it with pretty much whatever I want, and then I have the MIDI to be able to quantize. I can shift in all of those different rhythms or the fills or anything that I want to in all of the ways that I need. Also, it does go ahead and give me the automation for it right away too. That's obviously going to be a really great tool because now you know, I can go in and fine tune all of those to get that little bit more dynamic feel out of my drums as well. So I hope you guys learned something. We will catch you next time.